The Insane Final Boss title used to be the ultimate PvM achievement in the game before stuff like the Golden Reaper came out, but it's been my big goal on the Ironman account ever since it died for the last time as a hardcore. The requirements for the title include killing every boss in the game 100 times in both normal mode and hard mode, as well as unlocking every boss pet in the game, which is like the big requirement. Well, it doesn't include a couple of exceptions like Little Tuzzy. Now that I have the title, I figured I'd make a video summarizing the account's journey to the Insane Final Boss title, from start to finish.
Hello and welcome.
The account started as ChillZed, a hardcore Ironman created on the day of release of the Ironman Mode, way back on October 13th, 2014. The primary goal for the first hardcore series was to go for the completion escape, so I didn't do a whole lot of bossing during that process. I did manage to pick up the Krill Tootsoroth pet at a measly 35 kill count.
What? No way.
So that was a really lucky first boss pet to kick off the collection. Group bossing was finally unlocked for Iron Man 46 weeks into the release of Ironman Mode, and god did I suck at it.
Marcia and probably one more. Yeah, one more. There we go.
Nice.
Good job, guys.
Oh, new personal record. So we saw that.
I basically completely leached my first Rago, Raids, and Rot skills, just wearing full Sea Singer armor and basically camping a shield, which is honestly really embarrassing, but thanks to competent teams I went with, I was able to get the kills I needed for the Reaper title, which was a completion escape requirement at the time.
You don't know what I go through for this shit.
Yeah, but you tell us every single kill, Blake.
Yeah, because every single kill I lose 30 brews.
A big shout out to Blakeland for all the carries. He would later also carry me while I learned Solak on this account. After unlocking the comp cape on the hardcore, the next goal for the account was to get the trimmed completions cape, also the Master Quest cape once that was announced. While going for the lore book drop at King Black Dragon, I picked up my second boss pet, which I wasn't too happy about considering that wasn't exactly what I was going for there. Managed to be the first hardcore Iron Man to unlock the Master Quest cape, which secured my spot on the plaque in Edgeville, which is cool. And then Invention came out, and one of the ways I trained Invention was camping God Wars Dungeon 1 bosses with augmented polypore staves, and I got the Bando's pet at a super low kill count there, like 200 kills, which is nice and lucky. And then there was the first death on the account. The NXT client was out in its early stages, and it would occasionally freeze up on me. So when that happened at Primus, I couldn't move to dodge the lightning attacks, and that promptly killed me. I lost basically full Armadillo with that death, so I had to go back to Kriara, and that happened to get me the pet. So that was cool to get out of the way at a decently low kill count, just over 1,000 kills. And then the Wilderness task set came out, and I was not careful enough about doing the Warbands task, so I got piled in the Wilderness and lost my second hardcore life. I would end up suiciding to die for the last time on the account, which I'm glad I did because I was never going to get any better at PvM while having to be super careful on a hardcore account. I made like a second account, Final Chills, to actually get like decently good at PvMing, but once this account was a regular Iron Man, it seemed kind of redundant to go for the Insane Final Boss on that separate account, so I decided just to change my name to Pubstomp on this account and go for the Insane Final Boss title on this account instead. And so began the Pubstomp series, which is what really kicked off this account starting to go for the Insane Final Boss title. I worked on the Pubstomp series for like a year before uploading a single video, just to get a head start on those boss pet grinds. First thing first, I finished up getting the trimmed completion escape. I killed 100% enraged Telos as my last requirement, which is pretty pathetic. If you look at my gear, you can kind of see why it was a struggle. With the trimmed completion escape done, all the focus on the account shifted to gear upgrades and going for the boss pets. And so, like, the road to the Insane Final Boss title can officially actually begin, like, back in November of 2016. While going for my second Ascension crossbow, this happened.
Oh snap, there's a signet. Finally, actually, like, I used up all 60 plus keys at Secundus, didn't get a single signet, but at least I got a, corrupted. Oh my god, that I didn't even realize, holy crap.
I finished up my second Ascension crossbow, which meant that it was time to camp a Raxor for a Nox set, which has always been just like the gatekeeper grind for the rest of PVM on an Ironman account. Got an eye to finish off the Nox set at 491 kills, so not too bad on that luck. I would go back to get the base pet at 515 kills, which is decently lucky. Like, there's no threshold for the base pet, so that's one you really don't want to go dry on. I got it on a re-roll for the pet. Had a ridiculously lucky day at Twin Furies, and got like 3 blade drops, and I got the first pet, had like 130 kills. I was grinding Twin Furies for the reputation that I wanted for Vindicta, since that's the one that I'll want to be camping a lot of for Illajankin components. Got Barry at 757 rack kills, and finally got Mallory at 818 kills, which meant I was 100% done at a Raxor, which is a huge relief since that means I don't have to worry about going to racks every day at reset. It's always so nice when you stop needing to do a daily and on Ironman. With the Raxor done, I shifted attention to the Ascension grind while waiting for a computer upgrade that would make doing full raids possible. My old computer would lag like crazy at raids, so I couldn't really do the bosses. Got the Secundus pet, and then Quintus and Quartus got pretty soon after each other. So there was some serious progress into one of the biggest grinds for the Ironman Insane Final Boss title. After unlocking Onslaught from doing raids, it was time for the solo Nex grind. I got every item from Nex except a Zyrite bow before the boss log update, unfortunately. And then I got the pet at 909 Nex kills. I was basically a Nex addict for a few weeks to get that pet. It's a pretty fun boss though, and has some pretty useful drops for an Ironman. Got the Zilliana pet at 796 normal mode kills, which meant I finished all of the pets at Garwood's Dungeon 1, which was really nice to have done. I didn't even have to camp any of the hard mode versions of the bosses to get those pets. Camped Chaos Elemental for a while and got the boss pet at exactly 1,300 kills. Chaos Elemental is just such a stressful boss to camp since you gotta look out for PKers during and between kills, and the teleport mechanic is not fun, so it was really nice to get that one out of the way. Got the Mega Ducklings at a clan event real quick. It's almost like a joke requirement for the title. And then it was back to the Ascension grind, where I got the Sextus pet. And then finally, after months of grinding, I got the Primus pet at just under 4,000 total Legios kills. The final kill count of the Ascension creatures came to about 312,000 kills, or 5 prestige and 12,000 kills. You can tell why this grind is just dreaded by anyone going for the Insane Final Boss title on an Ironman, because depending on your RNG, you could add or subtract like hundreds of hours of grinding keys, which is at least AFK, but still not fun. Got the Telos pet at 741 kills. I was basically just going for my tier 92 set, and the pet was going to happen eventually. Something to mention is I had been working on the Barrows item set grind for a while. You need all 6 main Barrows sets for the bobblehead pets, and at this point I was like 3 items off of all the sets. With the Ascension grind down, I spent a lot of my semi-AFK time just doing Barrows. Got the Beastmaster pet at 93 kills, a pretty easy pet to get there. I would still need to do BM kills while going for Yakimaru pet, so it's kind of a bittersweet to get the Beastmaster pet first. At some point I basically just realized I had a Fire Cape and 100 Zeals, and that Jad pet from Soul Wars is actually a IFB requirement, so I went ahead and unlocked that. It was just so random to suddenly realize that, oh, I have this like pet I can unlock. Cool. Got a Guthin's skirt right after the Kurel's coif, which meant I was just the Toriag's legs off of all sets being done at Barrows. The Slayer to 120 update happened, so I did my Dagonoth Slayer tasks at the Dagonoth Kings, and I wound up getting all 3 pets in 1 Slayer task, which is just insanely lucky and ended up at about 3,200 kills. Wanted to unlock the regular final boss title at the same time as 120 Slayer, so it meant doing a ton of fight kills. I wound up getting the pet at 47 kills, which I was super happy about because it meant I wouldn't have to camp there after 100 kills. I ended up finishing the regular final boss title at the Giant Mole, which is pretty funny, and got 120 Slayer at the same time for that double broadcast. And I went back to Barrows for the first time in a long time due to having to do the 120 Slayer grind. and I pretty much instantly got the Torag's legs, completing all the barrow sets I needed for the bobbleheads. That meant I just needed to grind out a total of 1500 malevolent energy to finish those pets, so that's going to be a lot of rots I'll need to do over time. Started working on getting the challenge mode kill counts at God Wars Dungeon 2, and got the first Vindicta pet at 83 challenge mode kills. I had 1,226 normal mode kills, so had a few thresholds there. Then I got the second Vindicta pet at about 2,400 normal mode kills, which was insanely unlucky considering how many thresholds that was. But it was kind of a blessing in disguise since I ended up with a ton of Village Enkin components from that grind.
Yes, Queen! That is the Queen Black Dragon Scale Slay!
Got the Queen Black Dragon pet at just over 1,000 kills. That's a nice one to get done, but QBD is really nice for supply drops on an Iron Man. I went back to the mole to pick up the pet at 143 hard mode kills. It's only a 1 in 500 drop in hard mode, so that's one of the easiest boss's pets to get done. Got the Hellweir pet at the same time as the Crest of Saren, which was just an absurdly lucky drop to get at 242 kills. It's gotta be one of the luckiest drops I've ever gotten, and it meant I was done with Hellweir basically right after I started. Then the drop log update happened, so every tradable drop up until this point didn't count on the drop log, which is a huge bummer, but I did automatically unlock the Fight Kiln title and the Legio title when I logged in after the update, which was funny to see. I went back to Twin Furies and got the second pet at 914 kills, which is not too bad to get both pets by then. Started the Corp grind and wound up getting the pet before getting a single sigil at 1,526 kills. Getting a sigil is a bit more common than the pet, even after considering thresholds, so it was kind of weak that I didn't get a single one in that process. Finally got the Greg pet after camping the boss for just over 2,000 kills. Was kind of going insane during that grind, but it ended up being really nice having all those drops for Corrobing 4 Equilibrium 2 perks. I started working on the Magister grind at this point, which meant doing Simona Slayer and camping tasks to get keys to the crossing, and I would do Calfight tasks at Calfight Queen, which got me the pet at just over 1,000 kills. Then after getting the Calfight Queen pet, I did the Calfight tasks at Calfight King, and that got me the pet at 734 kills, which is pretty nice considering that I was doing duo or trio kills, which meant that I wasn't guaranteed a pet drop chance on every single kill. I eventually got the Soul Fragment to Magister at 706 kills, and I would later do just a few more kills to finish off the dual Kopeshes, but that is a really big pet to get as it's reminiscent of the Ascension grind due to having to grind out all those keys for the kills. I ended up having to kill 32,000 corrupted creatures and 28,000 soul devourers to get the pet. After a few months of doing rots on and off for about 1,000 kills, I got enough malevolent energy to finish all 6 bobbleheads, which is a big deal on an Iron Man considering all the barrows and rots required for it on an Iron Man account compared to Mainscape where you can buy the pets off the GE pretty much. I finished getting 100 hard mode kills for every boss other than Virago, which meant that I was completely out of soloable requirements for the Insane Final Boss title, and this is where the grind really slowed down. I am not a social butterfly when it comes to finding groups for PVM, so after learning to use Discord, I did find people who would go to hard mode Virago consistently, so I mauled all the weeks, which meant I was on Bombi chance, and I managed to get Bombi at 70 kill count on the same day I unlocked the chance to get it, which is really lucky.
Oh, congrats, Pubstomp!
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, Pyron. I'm
Man,
sorry,
that was
Pyron, but it gave me good luck. There we go.
Yep. That was fucking fire.
The sacrifice.
After a few months of doing full raids when I was online at the same time as the people that actually go and do raids, I got the Yakamaru pet at 139 kills. 100 of those kills were like before the pets were actually released, so not too bad on the actual pet chances drops there. Finished the 100 kills at hard mode Virago, which is honestly one of the more tricky requirements for the Iron Man Insane Final Boss title. There aren't a whole lot of teams that do hard mode consistently, and getting on those teams requires being on at the right times and knowing people, so that was good to get done. It also meant that all of the kill count requirements were done. And then Angel of Death got released, which meant that there was another super rare pet to get from a group boss, so It's not as bad as Vitalis, but I still had to find like a permanent team that did like an hour or two of AOD every day to rack up the kills and go for the pet. I had my full-time job at this point, so scheduling was a nightmare, and it was basically all I had time to do on RuneScape after work. But at least I got my appraisal codexes and eventually got the pet drop at 1,736 kills. At this point, I was the Vitalis pet away from the title. And you know what I did? I basically quit the game and took like a 3-month hiatus because I can't think of anything more demotivating than being Vitalis away from the insane final boss title. I might get lucky and just get it next kill. You never know with Virago and Vitalis. But it's probably gonna take forever, and I am prepared for that. I just gotta keep telling myself that. I'm going to Olive Garden because that was a promise I made myself when I was starting to go for Reeves. If I get Reeves, I go to Olive Garden, and when I get Vitalis, I'm going to Outback Steakhouse for a celebration dinner. So yeah, see you next time. After my hiatus, during which I played through Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, I came back to Solak, ED1, and ED2 having been released, which meant I had a lot more work to do to catch up to where I was. Got the ED1 pet at a ridiculous 275 kills, which meant I spent over 100 hours grinding ED1. I gotta be honest, that was not my favorite time playing RuneScape. Got the ED2 pet at a much more reasonable 166 kills, however I did have to go back for another 20 kills or so to get my mutated Barge ability codex. Archaeology got released, and my favorite weird flex on this account is I was the first account to complete the Eyes in Their Stars mystery. I had a really great fun day on the day of release of Archaeology. Now I had been dreading the ED3 grind, but I would end up getting the pet after 9 solos, so that was a huge relief, until I had to go back to get my ECB, during which I had a dry streak of 150 kills, solos. So you can tell I'm still a little bit salty about that. Now at this point, I was getting really desperate to go to Virago. Having Vitalis just on that list of requirements is just a constant demotivator at this point. So this is where I actually made an effort to do a ton of Virago during all the good week rotations to go. And by the way, if you want to do Virago at any point on an Ironman account, just PM me. I am desperate. I just want to go to Virago all day, every day, but nobody is doing it because everyone's doing archaeology and grinding out perks. So anyway, yeah, just PM me. Let's go to Virago a lot. And then Raksha got released, so I was like, oh boy, another pesky pet grind incoming. And then I took forever to learn the boss properly because I was a mage nerd from all the Virago I was doing. But I ended up getting the Raksha pet at 13 kill count. And considering it's a 1 in 1,000 drop without any thresholds, that was super lucky to get. And I would also get greater ricochet at like 35 kills, so I was really happy about my Raksha luck on this account. I finished up the 100 kill count at Raksha, and it was back to Virago for the Vitalis grind. Now I'm gonna play this clip of me getting Vitalis, so fair warning, I was super excited to get this drop, and for context, Haley was my fiance at the time, and now she's my wife, and she's been super supportive of my goals on RuneScape despite not playing the game herself, which is awesome, and I'm really lucky to have her. Oh my god, I saw it on the ground. It happened! It happened! It happened! Haley! 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 Haley!
What?
It happened!
What happened?
I got Vitalis! What? That was so unexpected. This is the first hour I did of Team Split. I was expecting to go all week. This is... Yeah! Oh my god! What? Oh, let's go ahead and read Ancient Summoning Stone. You read the tablet and magically transforms into a creature. That's Vitalis. That should unlock Hard as a Rock feats, because I'm just hard as a rock right now. Is that right, Haley?
Oh god.
Oh my god, it happened, it happened. Oh.
Are you done fighting this boss now?
Yes, I'm
Yes?
done with Virago. How many kills was that? It broadcasts it too. 1,359 kills, that includes hard mode. It happened! This has been years in the making, literally. Like, you have to do Virago for years. I am Solak pet off of the insane final boss title now. That's... It's funny, whenever people get Vitalis, it's like, oh, you're halfway to Insane Final Boss now. It's that big of a deal, of a requirement. We need to get Outback Steakhouse at some point, because I made a promise to myself a long time ago that if I ever got Vitalis, I would get Outback Steakhouse.
Okay.
Let's get it tomorrow. And we did get Outback Steakhouse, and it was delicious. With Vitalis done, I procrastinated the heck out of going to Solak, so the Rex Matriarchs got released before I got the Solak pet, and I went ahead and grinded out the new pets one by one, starting with Corby, which you can AFK for really easy kills. And then I went to Pavo, and got the Heart of the Seer on the same kill as the pet drop, which was really nice to finish off the drop log. And then I finally got the Bagra pet at just under 3,000 kills, which finished all 3 pets and the drop log at Rex Matriarchs. And then it happened! I got the Solak pet at 477 kills on July 11th, 2021, and I just started doing duo kills with Iron Wark the day before. This meant I was able to finish the Insane Final Boss title just before the Elder God Wars bosses, when I can only assume they're gonna add some more requirements to the title. And that's the story of how my cute little hardcore Iron Man worked its way through deaths and grinds to finally get the Insane Final Boss title. This isn't the end of Pubstomp's story, however, since Golden Reaper is a thing now and there will be new bosses to grind out in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.